In July of 1867, the Union Pacific Railroad reached the small settlement of Cheyenne, Wyoming. And just like that, boom, a city practically sprang up overnight. Founded in the midst of the Great Plains on July 1867, Cheyenne became a booming instant city by fall. But what made Cheyenne such a hot commodity? Well, this particular plot of land was pretty close to the Colorado border, making it a convenient spot for folks traveling between the Rocky Mountains and the nearest jail. But seriously, it was also near a major supply depot, several coal mines, and a bunch of other things that would be too boring to mention. But the main reason for its sudden population explosion was the arrival of the Union Pacific Railroad. With the help of generous government bonds and land grants, the railroad was able to bring architects, masons, and materials in quickly by rail. They also employ prefabrication techniques, prison labor, and 3 different types of immigrant workforces, including Irish and Chinese laborers and German stonemasons. Many buildings were designed in East Coast or European styles and replicated in frontier towns like Cheyenne. Now, if all this sounds suspiciously convenient, well, you're not alone. In fact, in alternative history circles, there is a theory that many grand buildings of the 1800s with domes, arches, and intricate stonework were not actually built by pioneers at all, but repurposed from an older, lost civilization. A civilization many call Tartaria. Now, before we jump into the theory, the Union Pacific Railroad was one of the largest infrastructure projects ever undertaken. At the time, the railroad company was incredibly well funded thanks to government bonds and land grants. They were able to hire some of the best architects and engineers of the day, many of whom had experience designing large public buildings in the East Coast. Now, most of these buildings weren't built in Cheyenne, but there are a few notable exceptions. The Laramie County Courthouse, for example, is a prime example of this architectural style. Built in 1889, this massive sandstone courthouse boasted a large dome and intricate stonework. At the time, it was considered to be one of the most beautiful courthouses in the country. Today, it's home to the Laramie County government and is listed on the National Register of Historic Places. Of course, this isn't the only building in town that looks conspicuously out of place. The old brick post office is another great example. Built in 1893, this stately building features a mix of architectural styles, including Romanesque and Queen Anne. Its most